What does what we've seen in Turkey actually mean for Turkish lira?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me and good morning. I think we've already seen this morning a little bit of a weakening in the Turkish lira as the results in Istanbul, whatever they are, probably get contested. I think we should consider that these elections, although they're material, realistically, these are municipal elections, right? So Turkey is not going to have presidential elections until 2023, so in over 4 years' time. So it may be a little bit too early to read into the consequences and the conclusions of this event. But I think for markets in general, I think it's just nice to have this election kind of behind us so we can focus once again on what matters, which is going to be the Turkish economy and reserves. And I think all eyes have really been on depletion of Turkish reserves and how much of that has been used to intervene in the lira.
Okay, but does it change, Yacov, the way in which President Erdogan actually deals with the economy? Does it change some of his populist stance?
It's hard to see that happening simply because, even though there's been the loss of Ankara, and as mentioned, Istanbul is still contested, I think it's difficult to see a change of policies. The president and the economic minister, they have to deal with an economy in recession, that's been going on since the financial crisis in August of last year. So I'd say what the implications of this election is really what is the impact on Erdogan's political machine in the cities, and as a result, we have to see how that plays out over the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. But, I think markets are just happy to see that we're going to probably move away from the sort of intervention in the offshore markets witnessed last week. And obviously that created a significant freeze, a disruption to markets in lira. But at the same time, there's probably the path for lira for the near term, next few days, seems to be for weaker lira as we see continued noise in the Istanbul election as an example.
But, Yacov, because of some of the things that the authorities put in place before the election, it was almost impossible for foreign banks to actually short the currency. Are you expecting more of those measures to be put in place?
There's probably less of a need for that, i.e., there seems to have been an effort to maintain lira stability ahead of elections. Seems unlikely that we're going to see a near-term repeat of the measures now that the elections are behind us. I think what we're really trying to understand is what is the likelihood that this event and some of this Turkish noise finds its way into other emerging markets. And I think looking at the Chinese data that came out yesterday, if anything, that's been a real positive for EM, and you could say that's almost like a carte blanche for carry. So what we keep seeing is there are some endogenous events within EM, this noise in Turkey, this noise in Brazil, but at the same time, the broader narrative, looking at the Chinese data, looking at, again, the pickup, we expect further stability and actually further pickup in China come second half of this year. I'd say that the broader backdrop remains very constructive, ex some of these individual hotspots and disruptions.